What does Eve from the Garden of Eden, Roman Empress Theodora, Queen Cleopatra, Queen Makeda, aka Queen of Sheba, Mata Hari, and Wallace Simpson have in common? They all possess the feminine essence of enchantment, charm, and allure. These captivating women position themselves into prominent roles and influence some of the most powerful men in human history. Today, we will cover the life of a young noblewoman who seduced the most domineering and notorious king of all time. She goes by the name of Anne Boleyn. Welcome to Womenz Thoughts. Let's dive right in. Anne Boleyn's birth date is debatable. Early historians say she was born in the year 1501. Present historians say Anne's birth year was 1507. Despite the confusion, Anne was delivered at Blinklink Hall in Norfolk, England. As a middle child, she grew up with 3 other siblings who fortunately survived infancy. So, the infant mortality rate was high during this time. Children barely made it to their first birthday. Let's continue. Her family status was stable, respected, and wealthy. Her father, Thomas Boleyn, later became Earl of Wiltshire, as well as Earl of Ormond. Anne's mother, Elizabeth Howard, was the eldest daughter of Thomas Howard, who was sworn in as Earl of Surrey, and later became 2nd Duke of Norfolk. By the time Anne turned 12, in the year 1513, she was invited to the well-known schoolroom of Margaret of Austria. So, Margaret of Austria was a woman who held a temporary position within the court as regent. A regent could be a mother or a widower. The role of regent would be a female monarch who facilitates and communicates on behalf of a minor child who is to become king one day. And yes, women eventually gained and seized power via this role too. Let's proceed. It was Anne's father Thomas who enrolled her into this prestigious schoolroom. This schoolhouse educated and prepared the royal elite children in many disciplines. Anne gained a solid reputation of being the brightest and most pleasant pupil. Anne's father's decision to send his maturing daughter to the royal court's household as maid of honor in Brussels, Belgium, was a benchmark for Anne's future as a flourishing young woman. So, this was like sending your little lady to a fancy finishing school for girls. Let's move on. Smart, competitive, resourceful, and charming, Anne, considering her youth, was well-spoken and possessed elegant mannerisms well beyond her years. She'd mastered handwriting skills with grace in comparison to her weak fluency in French. In addition, she excelled at embroidery, needlework, music, dancing, singing, as well as domestic skills. Anne was a driven young lady who could demonstrate clever moves on the chessboard. Right after the chess game, she'd participate in horseback riding and hunting with a bow and arrow, with the best of them. In fact, the royal court was so impressed with Anne, they allowed her to join the court at 12. The acceptance age was 13. Margaret called her La Petite Boleyn because of her tiny frame. Later that same year, Thomas sent Anne to France to become Henry VIII's sister Queen Mary's maid of honor for her future wedding to Louis XII of France in 1514. So, you're probably wondering, Anne's father must have a lot of important connections to gain his children access to such prestigious academies. Her father served as a diplomat to King Henry VIII of England. Let's move on. Anne remained at the French royal court for nearly 7 years. She eventually completed her French lessons, adding to her studies knowledge in literature, reading reformist books, poetry, religious philosophy, French culture and etiquette. The most provocative lessons she learned were the art of flirtation and courtly love. During the 7 years spent at the French court, Anne met future King of France, Francis I, who may have introduced his sister, Princess Marguerite de Navarre, who supported humanists, today you might call it humanities, and reformers. Marguerite was also an author writing books about Christian mysticism and religious reform. So, Marguerite was a woman ahead of her times because she pushed the envelope regarding the control and power of the papacy. Here's the thing. Although her actions were risky, she was fully protected due to her status in the royal French court and being the future king's dear younger sister. Let's continue. Unbeknownst to Anne, her newfound interest in Christian mysticism and reform will create a huge detour in her life and the future of Europe. In 1522, Anne Boleyn returned to the English royal court. She now speaks French fluently, embodies French culture, acquires soft mannerisms, and wears the most fashionable French gowns. Anne quickly became the trendiest girl in the royal court. She was that girl. Anne Boleyn became the most admired young beautiful lady of the English court. La Petite Boleyn, now a woman in her early 20s, standing at 5'3", small frame, bright smile, soft rosy cheeks, and clear expressive eyes, she quickly became the it girl. She graced the lavish banquets wearing the latest stylish gowns and accessories. The men present in the court paused and watched as she performed all her courtly charms for all to see. The women in the court, if not glaring with the evil eye, secretly wanted to be her. Anne, never known for being modest or shy, reveled in all the royal court's attention. Welcome to the Thought Cafe. While I'm sitting here enjoying my latte, I want to talk about Anne Boleyn's feminine archetypes. Yes, archetypes, with the plural. A few months back, I covered a whole series on feminine archetypes, inspired by the late YouTube sensation Aisha K. Fins. Please, guys, Google her work. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but the work she's left us on the art of feminine powers is amazing. Trust me, you will love it. You're welcome. Now, back to Miss Boleyn. She's giving true Sage, Huntress, and Lover Archetype. As a Sage, Anne is highly intelligent and cultured. As a Huntress, She is highly competitive and go hard with sporting activities like hunting and riding horses. Next is a Lover Archetype, in which Anne is an enormous flirt and enjoys all the male gaze she can command. Let's get back to our story. Meanwhile, as Anne became more popular within the royal court, she acquired quite a few male suitors interested in courting her. In fact, Anne's male friend Sir Thomas Wyatt, one of the best Tudor poets of his time, spent years suppressing his desires for Anne. Sir Thomas eventually married another young lady in the court. However, over the years, he realized he was not content in his marriage and carried out acts of infidelity. So, it was rumored that Sir Thomas settled and truly wanted to marry Anne. Let's move on. Furthermore, Anne was betrothed to a son of nobility within the royal court. His name was Henry Percy. However, plans and arrangements fell through. For unknown reasons, Percy's father refused to acknowledge the couple's engagement. One fall evening in 1526, the banquet decorations were exquisite. The music was well executed and intoxicating. People surrounded the court's red carpet like a food kitchen, waiting to be fed. Within a moment's notice, in comes the King of England, King Henry VIII, that is, and his entourage, striding down the red carpet like a rock star. So, Henry VIII and his boys were like today's popular boy bands. Let's proceed. Henry was a game player and married at the same time, who reigned in the art of flirtation and courtly love. For those who know. Recently, he has gotten bored with the many female participants in the game and needed more stimulation and challenge. Henry had the pick of the litter, all of them, except one. Yes, you guessed it, Miss Anne Boleyn. So, Anne had his number. A player, no another player. In fact, Anne was in attendance at the same banquet that night, but continued to charm her company sitting at the table as the king walked in. Let's move on. If you are thinking what I discovered covering this bio, yes, it is true. These two finally met their match. They are one and the same, kindred spirits. Unfortunately, this is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be uploaded soon. This is where we begin to spill hot tea. In part 2, we will explore both, air quotes, hunters, Anne and Henry competing for dominance, control, and love. With that said, the two young monarchs' quest for competition changed the modern world as we know it. Thank you for watching the Anne Boleyn story, the first half. The second half will be uploaded soon. Today at the cafe, I mentioned the 3 feminine archetypes Anne embodied. In the description box below, I left 3 videos covering each specific archetypes mentioned in today's video. Please visit and enjoy. I will examine more of Anne's feminine traits in the next video. Stay tuned. The tea is just starting to get hot and messy. So, what were your thoughts on Anne's life within the Tudor royal courts? Please leave a comment, like, share, and press the notification bell so when I upload another video, you will be notified. As always, because everyone has a story. Ciao.